in Blackboard. So when you sign into 2341, which is our course, you'll see a page that looks like this. And what I did was I customized this for our class. I'm going to walk you through all the features of this page pretty much. And that will lead us through our discussion for today and what we're going to work on, and then we'll be pretty much finished. So my contact information is here. This telephone number here is the Google Voice that the school set me up with. You can feel free to text that. Sometimes it's easier if you have a question to just send a quick text message, so you can feel free to do that. Here's another person. I have two emails. I'll usually respond to the one that is for WISD a little bit sooner. I tend to check that more frequently. STC sends me a lot of stuff that I don't need, and so I kind of have to sort through that at the end of the day, but I'll get a message in either place. Virtual office hours. So we'll go through the schedule in a little bit, but they have set up our schedule at least through September in such a way that every day from 2:45 until 4, I'm available for you if you have questions or need help with your, assignments, that sort of thing. That is a different Zoom call, because I just leave that for anybody who needs help that day. So there's a different link, and it's here. It's in another place a little bit lower on the links too, but it won't be the same one as this one. This one is for live class only on Tuesdays at this time. So there is another one that you can check in and get a little help or ask a question, that kind of thing. Also, I have a pretty active Twitter account. I like to tweet stuff about scholarships and opportunities, retweet stuff from school. I like to tweet when I go to sporting events for our school, or performances, that kind of thing. So if you want to, you can follow me there. I'm not going to follow you back because that is creepy, and I'm not going to be following all the things that you do and so on. It's not that I'm not interested in you, it's just sometimes people post things that they forgot their teacher could see. So okay, if you scroll down, then you will see that I put in some important links here. Here are the two Zoom links that are pertinent to our class. They're formative, I'll talk about in a little bit. We have to have a method to demonstrate that you are present on every B day, and it has to be a physical thing. I can't just observe you on the Zoom call. I have to have an artifact that you created to count you present. So I'm going to talk about formative in a little bit. That's the way that we're going to do that. Also, every class period, I'm going to record the class period. That way, if there's a situation where you can't get on for the class period on Tuesdays, or you need to go back and watch something again, at the end of the day, I'll go ahead and upload them, and I'm making a playlist right here. So you can access all of our class periods videos on this link here. In a minute, I'll talk about this too, but I'm not going to spend time in class talking about the syllabus today. I think that's pretty boring. So instead, I made a video, and you can go to the syllabus and follow along. It's like a 20-minute video where I go through the syllabus with you. And that's a link to that. Over here are just a couple of STC links that are just to keep things handy. Then I think they put this into here, but this is just talking about what's in this Start Here page. And so you should look through all the rest of this. There's some statements from the college and things like that that you need to be aware of. You're on this page, technical help. If you're having trouble with Blackboard, you can click right here, and there are a bunch of tutorials in that folder that can help you with that, or, I can help you too. Okay, so that's the Start Here page. Any questions about any of that stuff so far? You can go ahead if you need to interrupt me and ask a question or make a comment. You can unmute yourself. I'm okay with that. I don't really lecture, so. Okay, on the left-hand navigation, why don't you choose weekly modules? This is where every Monday, I think I'll post them on Mondays because our class is on Tuesday. Every Monday I'll post the week's folder, and the folder has everything that you need for that week. I spent some time after the spring, because we all know the spring was kind of chaotic. But after that semester finished, I asked a whole bunch of my students, especially seniors that were graduating and things like that, what were the most helpful practices during that time? Like, what did they find worked better for them that the teachers were doing? And so I used some of that advice from them in structuring this course. And one of the things they told me was that they preferred to get everything at the beginning of the week, not day by day. So they don't want to have to sign in every single day to find out what they have to do that day for a course. They'd rather get, you know, the things that they need for that week and then work on them at their own pace. So the majority of students said that. So that's what I did here where I collected in this folder all the things that you need for this coming week. There's an overview, there's some objectives, what it is. Oh, I have a cuckoo clock. It's gonna go off sometimes. Here's where I will collect, you know, give you an overview of what you need to be able to do at the end of this week. And then probably the star of the show is this section where I have all of the things that you need to do, basically. So under discussion topics, that's sort of my little agenda for our live session. And then after that are all of the things that you need to do this week. Another thing that the students told me from the spring was that they really appreciated having staggered due dates, where everything wasn't due on the same day because they found that they procrastinated and maybe didn't do their best work. So what I tend to do is make some assignments due sooner in the week than other days. It doesn't mean that you can't turn it in anytime you want, you know, but I mean, earlier than necessary. But I made some due dates, making some things that are less time consuming due sooner, and things that take up more time are, you know, more like Sunday or Monday for next week. So the way that I set that up is that there's 2 things for today, there's 1 thing for Thursday, there's a couple things for Friday, Sunday. Now you can turn these in earlier, but that would be just the end cutoff point for the due date. And then a section for what you need to do before our next class period, which would be next Tuesday. So I kind of want to go through that a little bit with you in a little bit, but I also want to talk about these things that are up here. So one of the things that we should talk about is the new school schedule. I don't know if you had a chance to see this document. I shared it with you last week. The school district came up with a sort of model for a schedule that has synchronous days and asynchronous days. So I'm thinking it'd be good if I went through that a little bit just for clarification points and how it's going to work. Maybe you had a teacher yesterday already, or today you already had a dual class and they explained how the schedule is going to work. But this schedule, it helps me because I know that the yellows are the times that I have to be live with somebody, and the other times are not times that I have to be live with somebody. So this particular one helped me. So Monday and Tuesday are synchronous days, as you know. You need to be in your classes at the assigned time periods for those classes. And then Wednesday and Thursday are asynchronous days. That means that you don't have to be live, you don't have to be in a Zoom call or anything like that, but the teacher in each period should be available for the last half an hour of the period. Now, I think that the school thinks that you're gonna wake up at 8 in the morning on Wednesday and start working on your 1A stuff. And then at the end of that period, if you have questions, your teacher will be available to answer you. And then starting at 10:30, you're gonna switch over on your own and start working with your 2A stuff. I'm not sure that's how it's gonna go. I'm not convinced of how that it's gonna be like that. I think that they think that, that's why they have us available for the last half an hour of the period, and I think that's what they would like, but I don't think it's gonna happen like that. I think people are gonna wake up and work on what they need to work on priority-wise. I think that most students are probably gonna take this asynchronous time and use it to their best advantage for getting their work done. So technically I will be available on Thursdays for you from 9 until 9:30 in case you have questions, but like I said, I don't know how that's gonna work out. At the end of every day, they've adjusted the schedule so that the class periods are shorter, and that there's a period from 2:45 until 4 where the teachers are available in case you have questions, you need to drop in. I'm gonna have a Zoom going, separate Zoom, and just kind of admit people one by one. And if they have questions or they need help with something, I'll be available to do that. That's really good for writing conferences and stuff when we're working on drafts of essays and things like that. Fridays are a different thing. Fridays are alternating days. So this is an A week. So Friday is an A day. But Fridays are teacher choice. Your teacher can individually choose to have synchronous or asynchronous class that Friday. So if your teacher feels like they need to have 2 class periods in that week, then they can have you come synchronously in on Friday, in which case the schedule would look just like, you know, the synchronous day. Some teachers don't need to meet face-to-face that frequently, and so they will just call that another asynchronous day, and you can have more time on your own to plan and make sure that your assignments are getting done. I do not anticipate using Fridays a whole lot for synchronous. If I do have a synchronous meeting on a B day Friday, I think that probably will be something like, you know, for those of you who might want a little extra help with MLA for your paper that's coming up, I'm going to go synchronous on Friday. You can show up or not. That's kind of the way I'm thinking that it will be. And then you can decide if you need to show up for that topic or not, like a seminar kind of thing. Are there any questions about the schedule or anything that I didn't really touch on that you're wondering about? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself either way. Everybody's okay? Okay. Well, there's a copy of that there in the Blackboard and also in the Google Classroom. So if you wanted to save a copy, if you find that method handy, if you would like to adjust this, like if you want to put your class periods in or something, just email me and I'll send you the, this is a JPEG, but I'll send you the Google Doc and you can have it, make a copy and adjust it so that it will be customized for you if you would like. Another thing to talk about is summer reading assignments. Summer reading assignments are due today. You should have read How to Read Literature Like a Professor, and you should have made a single page, sort of 2-page flip reference for the chapters that are in this book. So we are going to work with the book through the term. As we go through our different readings, we will touch on certain aspects from the text. But you need to submit your assignment. That's on Google Classroom. Whenever there's an assignment due, I will always tell you where to submit it. So that's listed there. The rubric was here. Hopefully you looked at that too over the summer. We put that in the summer Google Classroom. This is how I will be scoring that organizer that you made. I saw many people had already uploaded it, so I think most people knew what to do and ran with it, but I'll start looking at those probably this afternoon or tomorrow. So make sure that you have submitted that. You'll notice that I put that on for due today. So it's listed here. Syllabus, I already talked about that, but by next class period, I want you to look at the syllabus. You can open it here. Also, there's a video that you can watch. It's like 8 pages long. There's certain parts that I go through really carefully and certain parts that you just need to read on your own. I don't get to choose most of the stuff that goes in the syllabus. Just the part that says instructor expectations is really the only part I get to put in. So most of it is communication about the course from the English department at STC. From me, of course. So by next class period, would you read the syllabus? And there's the video. I put another link to the video here, but it's also on the Start Here page. That way, on next Tuesday, I can say, are there any questions about the syllabus? Is there any part that you want me to talk about and you're familiar with it that way? Okay, the next bullet is academic integrity. They ask us to, from STC, they ask us to talk about academic integrity early in the course so that everybody's on the same page about how that works. Unfortunately, I don't like talking about this, but unfortunately I need to because almost every term that I've been teaching these courses for STC, I've had to dismiss at least one student for academic dishonesty. I don't like doing it, but it's necessary. It's not fair to the other students that are doing their work. So I'm pretty diligent about looking at assignments, making sure, you know, that they're done with academic integrity. The college, especially the department, also wants us to make sure that we can document that you have been told about academic integrity. So one of your assignments this week is a quiz, and you'll see the pieces at the bottom. So anything that's assigned, if you scroll past that little list, you'll see that there's a link. The quiz is set up, there are 10 questions, and you need to use, I think, 3 pages from the handbook, which I linked in the quiz itself. And so you use the handbook to answer the questions in the quiz. You'll need to get 100 on the quiz to document that you understand about academic integrity and the consequences for academic dishonesty. And then once you have 100 on that quiz, then you've proven that you know about that, and it will go into the grade book. But it's important that you understand all the aspects of academic integrity. Unfortunately, I've had to dismiss students who didn't think that they were doing anything wrong by lending their work to someone else. And unfortunately, they were dismissed from the class as well. So I want you to be very careful about lending your assignments. I think it's okay to have a study group. I think it's okay to, you know, do homework together. But if the products of those times end up overlapping too much, you could put yourself in a, you know, not very good situation. So do that quiz, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about it next time if there are any questions from that. Second to the last bullet, class introductions. I'm not a big fan of icebreakers or embarrassing things. Go run and show us your favorite possession. I think that's cute, but it's just not my thing. And I don't like going to sessions where they do that stuff. Stand up and find your birthday partner or something. I don't like that stuff. I'm not going to make you do it. But I do want to get to know you. I think it's going to be tricky. I like having working relationships with my students, and this is going to be kind of awkward and weird for me to do it this way. So I would like for you to create a Google slide that tells us a little bit about who you are and where you're going. And if you click, the first part of it's due on Friday. So if you click on here, you'll see that I've given you access to the slideshow. And what I'd like you to do is contribute a slide after where it says class slides right here. You can contribute a slide there. And then I think the due date for that is Friday. Yeah, contribute a slide that you get to customize yourself. I'd like for you to show who you are and where you're going. Basically, what are the things that you like to do? What do you enjoy? And then what does your future hold for you? Almost all of you are getting to the end of your high school career. So it's kind of like, what are you thinking is on the horizon kind of thing. So that's the theme for your slide, but you can customize it in whatever way you like and add it to the slideshow. I did put some instructions in here to help you with that. At least 3 aspects of who you are. I put some examples, at least 3 aspects of your future plans. I would like for your slide to have at least 2 multimedia elements. You can upload a video, maybe there's a song that you really like. I'll show you examples because I did a sample one for you. An image, something like that, pictures with you and your friends, etc. And you can customize it, and I put other ideas on there. Then the second part is, after everybody puts their slide in on Friday, then I want for you to go back in before Sunday and react to some of your classmates' slides. You know, you can just put an emoji, or you can put, you know, a smiley face or a little comment. There is a comment button right up here in the toolbar. My thing's covering it. Right up here in the toolbar, where when you're on that slide, you can click on it and add a comment. Hey, we're thinking about the same schools, or, you know, whatever, just to kind of interact a little bit. And then I put in some tutorials. I don't think you're going to need them, but all the best practices say that we should include them just in case. So there's some tutorials that you can click on. Then after that comes the class slides. I put my example one in there, so I'll show that to you a little bit about me. You might know that I'm married to one of the other teachers on staff. Maybe he was your teacher last year, I don't know. But Mr. Ramos is my husband, and so it's about who you are and where you're going. And obviously, I'm a little farther down the road than you guys are. I've already made some college decisions. So I put in this progression. This is Mr. Ramos and I when we were dating, and then it was the 90s. I'm not going to say anything else about that. And then this is a more recent picture of the two of us. And then somebody in one of my classes about a year ago took that picture and aged us, which I'm not happy about that picture at all, but I guess that's where I'm going. So I guess it's good to know. And so I put some other pictures on here about, maybe we'll retire and do some traveling. This is my cat. So I just put different things on there. The 2 degrees that I have. I like plants. And then my multimedia, I put some of my music favorites on a playlist. So if you're interested in my weird taste in music, you can click on that and check it out. Also, I'm on the TikTok and the Snapchat, not because I'm trying to be cool, because I know that's impossible, but my niece is 12 and she likes to have snap streaks. So I don't know if you all know what those are, but you have to send a picture every day and you have to draw a big old S on it. I don't know. And so you also have to know the TikTok dances if you have a 12-year-old niece. I don't do those dances, but I do have those things. So I shared some of them in a folder there in case you're interested in seeing. My cat is TikTok famous, in case you didn't know. I put a little folder about that too, so you can peruse that whenever it's time to do that. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. Then templates and tools. So I did put some links in case you want to get super crafty with your slide. Oh, I do recommend that you make your slide in your own slideshow. Just open one on your Google Drive, make your slide the way you want it, and then just copy it into this slideshow. I think if there's 5 or 6 people trying to work on the slideshow, it's going to get kind of hectic in here. What I did was on mine, I did all of it in a separate slide except this yellow box and this pink box. All of this is just one big image because I did a screen grab from my screen where I made the slide, if that makes sense. And I just imported that whole thing. And then I added these 2 multimedia link things here. So it might be easier for you to do it that way. Then you don't have to worry about bumping into other people working on it. And maybe it's a little easier to digital load wise. Okay, so there's some tools here. You can get fancy slides. You can download them for free. You can use, if you don't know about Canva, you definitely need to go to Canva. Check that out. Then I put some templates down here. You can make a copy of these if they float your boat. And then here's some icons if you want to, just some little tools on there for making your slide. So then we'll all look at each other's slides and make some comments, and we'll probably touch on it a little bit next class period too. And that's how we'll start getting to know each other. So the first part is due Friday with your slide, and by Sunday, go in and make some comments on your classmates' slides. Okay, I talked about the academic integrity quiz. So the last little due date section here is next class period. Most of our class periods will be set up in a way where I'll be modeling or showing you how to do something that you'll need to do that week. So I'll be giving you like a little demo, and then you'll go off on your own, you'll read something else and do that same thing with that text. So for next week, I need for you to read 4 things. The first one is a handout called Interrogating Text, which gives you some ideas about what to pay attention to and how to make notes on what you read. Plot is from the textbook. Everybody should have a copy of the textbook. It looks like this. There is an older version that East has. I think they try to use these first, but it's got kind of more of a quilt pattern on the front. If you have that book, it'll be okay. They're real similar. The only thing is that the page numbers are sometimes off a little bit. So you might have to go looking around. I'm going to use the page numbers from this book. If you do not have a book yet, you need to get up to school. We have plenty of books. They're not, they're not new books. They've been around. So you should be able to get a copy from the front office if you haven't. For a week or 2, I will link every reading assignment to a PDF so that if you don't have your book, you can just open the PDF like this one. This is the plot reading for next Tuesday. I just made a straight up PDF of it. So in case you're minus your book, you still have access to the reading material. And do take notes on the plot section. Anything in bold is something that you need to know how to define and work with in a new text. And then there are 2 stories to read for next Tuesday. They're very short. The story of an hour is in your book, and also I put it here on PDF. That's about 2 pages long. And then Snow by Julia Alvarez is about 1 page long. But I'm going to use those as models on Tuesday, and you're not going to know what I'm talking about. I'm going to assume that you've read them the way that I'm going to be talking about them. So you'll be totally lost if I'm talking about those stories and you haven't read them. So sometime between now and next Tuesday, read those so that you can really participate solidly in the class period where I'm going through them and showing you what you need to do for that week. Next week, I'll give you some new stories and you'll have to do what I show you to do on Tuesday, if that makes sense. All right, so here's another copy of the syllabus, and there's that quiz that I was talking about. So you have unlimited tries at this quiz, so everybody should be getting 100. The only way you wouldn't get 100 is if you don't do it by the due date, because it will shut you down. If it's not done by the due date, it will close. So everybody's going to get 100 to start. Hopefully everybody also turns in their summer reading assignment, and there's going to be another good grade, so everybody's going to be starting off on a good foot. I think I went through almost everything that I needed to for today on the Blackboard. I'd like to open it up in case there are any questions that you have about anything that I've talked about, or we've been back to school for a couple of weeks and maybe there's something about this whole virtual situation that you have a question about. I'd be glad to answer that for you if I know, or find out if I don't. You can unmute, or you can put your question in the chat if you like. You'll know about September 27th, right? We're going to be on virtual until the 27th. I think it's going to be longer, but that's just me guessing. I think we're going to get another 4-week extension on that. But that's just me thinking. So at least until the 27th, we'll be working in this manner. I hope that we get to the point where we'll be in class together. It's my preference. But anything? Y'all, anything you want me to talk about or check on for you? I had trouble hearing that.
Oh, I said to be counted present. Do we have to do a thing on?
Oh yeah, formative. I need to show you that. That's a good point. I forgot to do that. Yeah, to be counted present, you need to do a question on formative. Why don't we all sign in right now? It's super easy. Just in case there's a problem, I can pinpoint it for you. But yeah, every day you need to go to formative. It's a website. It shows up really well and is super easy on your phone too. So you can just bookmark it if you wanted and put it there. But it's called Go Formative. And well, mine's the teacher one. There's a code. So the code for this class is here. Somebody needs to mute. It's E76VPU. So that will take you to our class. And every day I'll post a question. The good thing about formative is that I can put in a little video for you to watch and ask you to respond to it. I can ask all kinds of questions. Our first question for attendance for today is about the summer reading. So I'm asking, which single chapter in How to Read Literature Like a Professor gave you the most insight into literary analysis? What insight did you gain? How do you think this insight could help you in this course? So I'm assuming that that's like a little short paragraph that responds to all of those questions. So you just type your answer in and submit it, and that will be your attendance for that day. On Thursday, you'll have to remember to go and do that.
Can you repeat the code?
Yeah, it's right here on the classroom. It's E76, V as in vector, P as in pancakes, U as in underwear. That's a weird combo, I just realized. So you can do it right now or you can do it later, but you do need to do it before the end of the day today. When I say end of the day, I mean 11:59:59. Oh, thanks for putting that in there, Damien. And then I'll be able to mark you present for East and also for STC wants us to take attendance daily also in some way or another. Good question. Are there any other questions I can answer for you? Crickets.
I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping that things pick up for more conversations and stuff once we get to know each other a little bit better and once we get into our material for the course. So I think that there's a few things for you to do. If you run into trouble, just send me a message, or there's like 5 different ways you could do that, or come by in the support time and I'll be glad to help you out. All right, I'm going to end the meeting then. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. I'll see you for sure next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.